Thanks for coming on. You're our first of many interviews, hopefully.
Thank you for having me here. And yeah, man, nice spot. I'm digging it.
Oh, cheers, man. So tell us about yourself. How did you become, a successful Latin musician from Australia, being from here? How did you learn the language? How did you come to be, Danny Sanz?
What happened was, my background, obviously, my parents are from Macedonia, and I lived in the country, and mother from Puerto Rico. So I learned, but I actually learned the language with a girlfriend. I actually couldn't speak Spanish.
Nice.
And then I learned, it's always the case. The music, I got into it through, I was always into all different types of music.
Yeah.
It wasn't the plan to be a musician. I had a friend that was, maybe I can mention him. We used to go to school together. His name was Fig Kid, a local artist. And he was always showing me his raps, and he was showing me his verses.
Yeah.
He was always showing me Method Man, all this kind of stuff. So that's how I got introduced to the rap thing. I didn't even know who these people were. Because he was.
So how old were you when this was happening?
I was high school, so it would have been 15, even earlier. Yeah, 15 to 17.
Yeah.
And one time he got me on stage. He was rapping, and I just rapped. I just made up some freestyle, whatever. The Spanish side, I wanted to fuse both the English and the Spanish because I thought it was cool. And that's how I started. I started with some traditional old school salsa with a rap beat, and people were digging it. I was like, all right. And I didn't even know what I was doing. I started when I was like 24. I didn't write a verse before that. I just wrote my first verse around there, 23, 24. And then I think I performed it at a club, at a local Latin club, and the reaction of everyone was like, wow. And I was like, okay, they're digging it. And I liked the whole process. So I was like, I like this. Like, I want to go find, how do I make music? I want to make music. Yeah. And I started looking for musos. I just started looking at bands. I had no idea what I was doing. Came across, I went to many studios, many producers, great studios that just didn't have the sound I wanted. And eventually I came across this kid. He was, he was a metal kid.
Right,
He doesn't even listen to that stuff. But I told him what I wanted, and he made this awesome beat. And I started working with him. The only problem with him, he was too much into the marijuana. I don't think that was the problem. I think it was just he just gets distracted easy.
Yeah.
So we never had a finished product.
Yeah.
He was doing it more as a hobby.
Yeah, that frustrates me as well.
And I'm trying to get it done.
Yeah.
So I eventually had to branch off and start producing myself. I started like this, just on the piano, while he was playing PlayStation. He goes, all right, just play. I'm like, all right. So I started learning myself in his home studio. And then eventually, now I can play piano.
Wow.
I don't know how to read music. Maybe some simple stuff, but I don't know what I'm playing.
You just play what you hear. If it sounds good, you go from there.
And that's how I got better. That's what he said. He goes, just play what you want, what you're humming to me. Because I was saying, can you play this? Why don't you do it? He goes, so I'd hum it, and I just started like this.
Wow, there you go.
And then eventually I'm playing chords. Eventually, that took, it was just a process. And then because I had no one to sing my choruses, I was just rapping because I never went to singing school or anything like that. But I said, I need someone to sing my choruses. And I did it in the initial stages. I had female, but because you don't have the budget, and I understand, I'd pay them, but then they would want more. Like, even though you made up the melody and the bird, they would want a cut of the royalties. And it's like, you're an author. I said, what, just cut out the drama. I'm going to sing my own shit. So I just sung my own choruses. I did everything myself. And here we are. That's how I started.
Well, it's worked out well for you.
Yeah, slowly.
Yeah. So,
what do you like better? Do you like performing, or do you like writing better?
Both. But I think it's part of it. I feel.
I think a performance is like you're happy with what you've made, and you're just having fun doing it.
As I'm writing it, I'm imagining it as I'm performing it.
Oh.
So as I'm writing this,
that's a good idea.
I'm visual, like without even doing it, I visualize the crowd, how they're responding to it automatically. So it's part of it. I feel like as I'm writing, sometimes some slow songs are not obviously for Yeah, you can. Ballads and all that stuff, because I got some slow ones,
Yeah.
but I haven't really pushed yet. But yeah, I always envision it's part of it. Like every time I make a song, it's like how I'm envisioning how the crowd's gonna sing it to 10,000 people or 20,000 people or 100,000.
Yeah, it's a great way to imagine how to make a song.
Yeah, so that's how it comes. So yeah, when I make it, I'm trying to make it.
So, how long did it take you to make your new video?
The new video took the idea straight away. I just thought of it, and to organize it, it took about a week.
Yeah.
I was just ringing people, and it was in the middle of the corona pandemic, and so it was pretty difficult to. It was just when Australia went into lockdown, so it was a shock to our culture. So everyone was scared to even visit anyone's house. They were scared because of the virus, and they were scared because of the fines, the heavy fines, the $11,000 fines, stuff like that. So and imprisonment. So it was close to impossible. Obviously not impossible because I did it. But every cameraman said no to me. It took about, and to film it, it would have just taken one day, but people would cancel last second because when I send a cameraman to their house, or even I got a cameraman in Jamaica to go to someone's house in Jamaica. That he came through, but some people here didn't because they were just understandably scared of. Not, I don't think because of the fine. They were actually scared of the virus, so they were just cancelling the days that I prolonged us filming. We literally filmed half an hour in each house, 45 minutes, literally in each house. Bang, 45 minutes. So essentially, it would have just taken not even a day of shooting, just a couple of hours, really. But it did prolong because of the cancellations in the situation that we're in.
How'd you get some of the footage from around the world?
So with the footage, so that was one of my ideas. Obviously, I couldn't leave my hotel room. I know just from experience, we can buy stock footage, standard stock footage. I asked the cameraman if he could buy it or whether he coronavirus. If we could get what's it called, footage of the internet, possibly. Yeah. So that was another option, and I think that's what he did. I don't know how he got it, but I told him specific places. I want New York in it, just because these are known landmarks.
Yeah, that intro to the video was really cool. How you got like everyone like looking at the TV.
Yeah,
and it was just like, what's going on? What's going on?
I'm glad it came off because that was how I directed it.
Because when you called me that night, you explained it how that video turned out. You know, everyone in different worlds, and it came into you, like what I'm gonna do, and then you just looked in the laptop, and that was just amazing. How your laptop just spread out all through the world of your face dancing and all that to the video.
Yeah, exactly.
I found that was really good.
I appreciate it, man.
Yeah.
You showed me before. I couldn't believe it. I was like, this is
it was released like 2:00 in the morning, was it, or midnight? But within the first 6 hours, it was like 2,000 views.
Yeah,
I was looking at it; it went off.
I messed up the launch time. Because I've been signed to these independent labels for the last decade. They have been handling the digital, so I had to sort of update myself with the whole doing it yourself thing.
Yeah.
Even though I do everything myself, it's independent, but I give the labels a cut, and in exchange for them to promote my music, but they didn't really do that. So I got out of the contract. I feel like it's better.
I do well.
No one should, unless they're going to invest a whole bunch. No way. Unless they can put a decent amount of money in the promotion. What for?
Is that the only reason you go with the label? Is just for marketing purposes?
Yeah, I believe. I could be wrong, but I believe 100% that just from my experiences. You got to have the product.
Yeah, but you've got the fans as well. You've got yourself a fan base where you can upload something. Because as I said, we had 69,000 views as of today on that video. It was just people sharing it.
Yeah, thank God.
Yeah.
And I'm not one of these young cats that just came out of school.
No, you're
where I got all my schoolmates sharing it. That's what a lot of these young, in good credit to them, young guys, they come out of school and then they do a video, bang, but they got like the whole school's, let's say it's 400 people. Telling them, if one of those people tell them, not just one other person, that's 800 people that know about the kid. And if you get what I'm saying,
Yeah.
I'm 38 years old. I don't have these guys I know from school are married and kids and no one, get me?
Yeah,
So, but
yeah.
thanks to whoever's following me on Facebook and whoever, I just delete this. Thanks to everybody that's supporting, like you guys. You guys,
Yeah.
you don't even. I know you don't like. That's not your music, and but you still there's a respect factor.
Yeah, it is.
Because
Yeah.
we're all musos, it's certain extent. So there's a bit of and I respect that music too. Thanks to those people, to be honest, and the fans. Otherwise,
Yeah, you did really well, Danny. It was really amazing. Yeah. So, what about the dance? Did you make up the dance yourself?
yeah, man, I have to turn into this thing. So
It was meant to be a TikTok. You thought, TikTok's so popular. For this is gonna go off.
exactly. So I had that in mind, and I'm not gonna say I detest TikTok. Sorry.
Yeah, nah.
I detest it. I'm sorry,
Nah.
but if that
It's a big marketing
I get
place.
it if I didn't, maybe because I do music and I make music videos. I
Mm.
make music videos because of that. And I get it. If I didn't have any other means of entertainment, probably I would like it too. So I got to put myself in their shoes.
Yeah.
I just hate it. I don't know.
Yeah, you don't like it, do you?
I get
Yeah.
where they're coming from. It's just, I don't know. Man. Everyone's doing the same thing. It's like, I can't watch this.
Yeah, but it helps you as a marketing
100%. I
perspective.
got left behind.
Oh yeah.
As
That's what we're hoping. Like you go and play overseas, right? You get to be able to travel around and play overseas, and then you come back here, and it feels like the major corporations in Australia, and especially there's a lot of services, and we know a heap of bands that go overseas and play all the time, and they come back to Australia and they're not getting the recognition that they
Australia's got good artists. You can just go to a local pub and see something.
Yeah.
exactly.
But there's a lot of
Like
talent, but
this-
they just don't want to do it. So I've met a lot of people like rappers and like musicians in the old genre have great talent, but they're just too lazy to do it. I just think that's what the problem is. Don't have the dedication. Maybe don't have enough things in Australia for that to
We've got
explore.
everything. Yeah, I think it comes down to it's what you said too, but sometimes it's
Sometimes
now we don't have an excuse because we can sort of take power into our hands a little bit.
yeah.
That's why I went independent because I really believe. So the major look, the playlists of Apple, Spotify, and all that that's in the States, or the Latin ones. I know that's in New York. So the I don't know the English speaking ones. I could imagine too. But I definitely know the office of Spotify for the Latin playlists are in New York in an office there, and they practically, if they want to, they can manipulate. They don't. They're generally fair, I believe.
Yeah.
If you start doing your own groundwork, it will reflect into the Spotify streams, right? And that's how you can get to a playlist. Also, if you're getting enough streams, they put you in a playlist.
Yeah.
But sometimes I've seen it where the songs just come out the day before and they put it into the.
Yeah, I think that happens over here a lot too. Because you see, it's frustrating too. Because you see, there's artists and bands over here, especially that are like packing out venues in the city, getting 100 people in, and have also been able to fund themselves and go overseas, and they come back here and they've got following, and some of these guys have got like 50,000, 100,000 streams on songs that they're putting up, even more. And but then again, they're not being booked for the major festivals in this country.
It's like every industry.
Like that. And it's weird because there's kind of this thing about which artists are they're going to be picked for the mainstream kind of airtime. And some of them are like some people that we even I'm not going to name names, but some people have been picked up that were that you think how you think
So
yeah.
I'll tell you a good experience of mine. I flew to, so after your question earlier, how did that happen with the international stuff? I did a video and all of a sudden I got booked in a club, just a nightclub in Adelaide. It was my first in 2009. And they flew me to Adelaide and they weren't expecting me, so man, I just had the club like this in my hand. Then they were the promoter was sitting there going, for me to book this guy again. Because we had everyone dancing. They didn't even know who the hell I was. They brought me down, so I got a bit of Corona. And then it started escalating because she hit a promoter. The promoter, she's a female, hit a promoter up in Sydney. Who's this guy?
Mm.
Yeah.
Next minute, I was in Perth after that. Another promoter then. Then they flew me back and forth, Adelaide and Perth, Adelaide, Perth. Then all of a sudden that guy in Perth hooked me up with a performance in Los Angeles. Right?
Oh, wow.
That's a big step.
Because he wanted to be, God rest his soul, he passed away because someone killed him. Coincidentally, that guy's, both of them in one of my trailers on my video that I never released. I met him through him. I don't know what happened over there in Perth. Apparently he killed him. So that guy wanted to bring for the first time to Australia urban Latin artists, doing that reggaeton genre. And they experimented with guys that are not charging that much. Some people that are sort of not has-beens, but some. And one of them, now, what happened with him? That's an interesting story. They brought him over because he wasn't charging much. And for me, he was outdone. He was done. 2 years later, he recuperated his career. He blew up. His name's Nicky Jam. I had him in my car, bro. And because I was doing a video. It's funny because I deleted the bloody video. Anyway, I had him. Well, I was lucky enough to have him in my car. He was just humble, not just another car. And now he's a millionaire. He's a multi-millionaire, living in Miami mansion. So what happened? So then I got my first gig in Los Angeles, and I knew the system. I was watching Australian Idols, that's the same thing, the X Factors. I'm thinking these people are talented, but a year later, people forget about them. So obviously these shows are just for ratings, and I get it. It's not for the artist. Yeah, they do get exposure. It's great exposure. But what needs to happen? What happens is that the major labels here, when they get signed, these artists, like let's say Sony, Universal, Warner, those guys, they promote you. But what I've noticed, and I had an experience, someone told me he was trying to promote this Latin female artist here.
Yeah.
Beautiful girl, great singer, like a muso, unbelievable. And they wanted to, this is around the 2000 mark when the Ricky Martin, that whole so they wanted to promote it. She looked like the J-Lo type, Anyway, he had an in with someone in Sony, and they were going to promote her and everything. But what they do is, as soon as they get the heads up from Sony and the head office, Sony here goes, they have to listen to their boss and go, okay, make this in the top 10, And they're like, all right, so they put everything else aside here. And it doesn't happen only in Australia. I noticed it happens in Chile, Colombia, all the other countries that I lived in. They're in the same boat. So they put you aside, and then they promote that because that's what they've been told to do. And so here they already have the Sonys and the EMI. Well, EMI doesn't exist.
Yeah, EMI used to be in North Sydney, but I don't know if it is there anymore.
Yeah, so I think Warner, those ones, the last three big ones, they made up with the director of, programming director of whatever station or whoever, or with the promoter that knows them, hey, this is our single, and there's a car key there, and this is your new BMW, by the way. Okay, this is our single we're promoting, by the way. Next minute, the song's playing 10 times a day. You get me?
Yeah.
Now I think that happens on a digital level where they don't meet up with the radio stations anymore because they don't have to. They go straight to the digital curators. And they do the same thing. And all of a sudden, that doesn't just go local. That's bang, worldwide. Everyone that listens to that genre, heavy metal, and that top playlist of that genre, if you listen to, let's say you live in Indonesia, and you look, it recognizes, it pops up. You go, okay. And you start following, and all of a sudden, you go, that's it. They just get exposed immediately. Then they go to YouTube to see the video. And then it's just like, it's a domino effect. And it snowballs. So now there is possibilities without doing it that way. But I knew from the beginning, because the whole Spotify thing started popping off 2011. I'm sorry, it started 2011. Didn't pop off until I feel 2015, 16. Started to get power. And then I knew, because of that experience with that gentleman, and his artist that he was trying to promote, I knew I got to get out of here because I saw, and on top of it, I knew I got to get out of here.
Yeah.
Not because here they don't support. Here they support just as much as they would in Los Angeles, as much as they support in Colombia. I used to see in Perth, man. I was in Brisbane, I was in Melbourne. The same. They would support exactly the same. Humans are humans, even if in Bangladesh. If the music is good, people are going to react. Yeah. People are stubborn. Some people are stubborn with the fact where if they don't know a song, it's actually harder for someone that's not known, if they don't know your song, for the crowd to react as good as the song could be.
You got to know the music of the artist.
But so credit to whoever's doing it and getting a reaction. So yeah, I was lucky enough to get a mad reaction always from the crowd. They don't know who I am, but they're feeling it. Thanks. And then but I knew I have to go to the where the head is, of the snake, and cut that off. If you get to that, then you can go worldwide. Look at AC/DC. Look at every Australian artist. Look at Iggy Azalea, the rapper. I don't know too much of a story. I can only comment on what I've been told of a friend. So I only found out about Iggy when, and I was planning to go because I had already gone to the States, right? And when I performed, and that's the difference too. You perform. I don't know how it is now, but when I performed there, you get off the stage here and you get a pat on the back, and everyone's like, "Whoa!" And drinks galore. And
it's still the same.
Yeah. Over there, the guy that hooked up the show here, the guy over there just was doing this guy a favor because he was trying to get artists here and he wanted to make some dosh. He said he didn't care about me, but he just did him a favor and hooked me up a show. I performed. Even in the van, I was preparing. Like, this is the first time overseas. I'm preparing to do a fucking like a concert. I'm gonna rip this shit apart.
Yeah.
And then and I was speaking to the DJ that was from there, and I said, "Look, this is what we're gonna do." And this guy could hear me preparing. I said, "No, we just want you to do one song." This guy flew me on the other side of the planet to do one song, and I realized quickly it was just because this guy's doing a favor. And I said, "All right, cool." And I said, "This guy, don't listen to him. We're gonna do." Oh no, when we're on the stage, I get that. Don't listen to him. You stop when I tell you to stop. That's what I said to the DJ.
Yeah, you gotta.
I said,
You gotta take it over.
Who this guy is.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm here. I'm gonna take advantage. I said, just you stop when I tell you to go right now. So I'm there. No one's even knowing who I am. And I went on stage. And that had been my fucking hand. 1,500 people. So, but because I've done it already. I've done it so many. That year I've performed. So I know how to get him. And then. To the point where that same guy, so I'm performing one, and then I did another and another, and they're going off. And it's not even that their genre. They were into an EDM's kind of style. These were Latinos, but they don't listen to the type of music I was singing at what I had at the time. But they were feeling it. And they were all dancing, and he came on stage with a Hennessy bottle. He's grabbing me around my neck, and I felt like looking at him. This guy told me to do one song,
And he's up and about.
He's on. I don't know if he was doing it for support or he wanted to be part of the glory or whatever. So what happened? All these dudes. The moral of the story was, everyone was coming up with business cards. So the hustle there is it's different.
It's the community is more better than just producers.
We're a bit more laid back.
We're
a bit more we're relaxed. We're a bit comfortable.
So when you say you like the one you were just performing, and then you went to Los Angeles and you got more performances from there. So were you playing in indoor events?
Yeah, it was a nightclub, but I did other events too.
Recently you did one in Chile. Was there you were at a stadium, like a massive 1,000 people?
Yeah,
so how did you get on with that 60,000 people. Is there a difference, like two different feelings, obviously?
That one, I performed 2 years prior to that on TV, which was transmitted to 40 countries. And they spelled my artistic name wrong, so I lost all those followers.
Danny.
No, they wrote D- in their own way. DIMAY, and everyone's probably going, where the hell?
D-.
Anyway. And they didn't even spell it like that.
So we got the right video,
So they spelled it in the Spanish way. Anyway, how was it? It was amazing. But I've done it before. And for me, it's a lot easier to have. It's the same. If you can make 30 people dance, that's harder than making 100,000
Oh
people
yeah.
dance.
But like when you're on stage, you feel like, man, I've made it. Like
I just love that.
people in front of you,
What
like
does that look like?
God.
It's fun.
Walking out in
You know,
60,000 people.
I reckon everyone just goes silent. You're like,
I couldn't wait. But it depends. Like if you haven't done it before, it'll probably be intimidating. I only did it once before, with that big of a crowd. So when I first did it, actually, there was a dude that he wanted to be my backup singer, you know, and he backed out because he was like, man, you know, because he wanted to be an artist as well. And then he said, no, I'm going to find you a backup singer because I can't do it. I was like, that's all right. It was amazing, man. It was good to see. You found this power. You're having all these people doing the same thing, but it just showed me we're all the same. If you can make 10 people dance, that's harder than making 10,000
oh
people
yeah,
dance because they're a bit nervous to dance when they know you can't see them or they're lost in the crowd,
Yeah.
so everyone's just going off. You get me? And it was amazing. It's an
Yeah.
amazing feeling to see. And then when I performed in that stadium, to see people I could hardly. They were like ants. And I could just see people getting out of their seat, dancing. I'm going, "Fuck, this is sick!"
yeah,
I was like, and you get butterflies, you get excited.
yeah. Because you
I
know
can't
you're
wait.
like,
I want to do it again.
oh yeah, you should after everything's over, you just
Did you
book
sleep that
yourself.
night?
Yeah.
When you got home, like you didn't just feel.
No, I got off the stage. I go, fuck, I just did
So
that shit.
the question is, who
Saw
did
the
you sleep
footage.
with as well?
Yeah, that's off the record. That's yeah.
Yeah.
Who didn't I sleep with? Nice. That was interesting.
So with all the young people out there, what advice would you give them? Like if you met your younger self now, what advice would you give him?
Yeah, so advice I would give, especially in artists funding themselves and trying to come up. The mistakes I did was I always wanted to come out with the best product. Then I'd wait until I had enough money. Time is precious. Time is money. Don't wait, and that's what I'm doing right now. So
Yeah.
that's why I just came out of that quarantine thing.
Yeah.
Bang, I did one. I'm doing another one on Sunday.
Yeah.
What I'd wait every 2 years until, because life gets in the way and we're human and we need to pay bills. I get it, and you get into work, but just put out content and make sure it's good. And so it's not necessarily always the stuff that that last clip, how much it cost?
How much?
$500.
It's nothing.
That's not
Did
stuff.
you make
I
profit?
just got anyone. I go, because everyone said no to me, and this guy was charging cheap. I said, you know what? I go, let's pull it off. The concept's going to take it over the line, and look at it. It's going right. It's
Yeah,
like
it
a
looks.
$500 clip.
Yeah, it's going amazing.
So there you go. You can get it done. Even if it's a student, if you have to budget, but don't sacrifice the quality too much. But you can be the judge of that. People are not stupid. People can tell. Put out content very regularly. Put it out so people don't. Because music is one of those things, especially in these times. You put out something in 2 weeks, it's fizzled out. They got a new hit.
Yeah.
You've been buried. Come out with another one. Come out with another. Don't stop. Someone's going to see it. Something's going to happen. I'm telling you. If you put the work in, like anything, you put the work in, it'll show. And you'll get better. And doors will open. Doors will open as you're doing this. The mistakes I made was I'll come out, and then I don't hear nothing for 4 years. Boom, I come out.
Oh, yeah.
Bang, yeah, it's amazing.
So just keep
There's
going.
a helicopter
Yeah.
here. There's this, there's that. I'm in the desert.
Yeah, that's.
Yeah.
Oh, that was a good song.
It's
that one.
great, but then if you don't continue, you they forget about you straight away.
Yeah, so just the advice is just keep going, go
Because
hard, and
it's not a competition. I don't believe. Don't look at it like that. But
No.
you're competing with is it millions of people,
well, yeah,
or thousands, hundreds of thousands of people that are other artists that are constantly putting out something.
yeah,
Put it out, even if it's try to save your money. Put a video out. I say everyone does the lyric video. Do it. If you don't have the money, do the lyric video. But I say put a visual out because then they get to see you and they get to.
yeah,
And that's my. Just don't stop and don't let anyone tell you can't. You know what I mean? Everyone told me you can't. For that last video, everyone said it's impossible. Like, every cameraman said no, we can't. I rang random people that I knew. People that I even knew wouldn't even answer their phone. They knew I was ringing. They said, "No, it's impossible. You can't do it. No one's gonna do it. Look, I fucking did it."
yeah,
So if you put your mind to it, don't listen to the naysayers. Just get it done.
Yeah.
If you believe it. There's constructive criticism and there's criticism out of envy because they can't do it.
Yeah.
So
That's good advice.
Don't let them. You'll get better with the process. You'll get better. You know, just keep doing it. Don't stop. If you stop, it's like you want to be the fastest runner. You have to keep practicing.
That's it.
And
Yeah.
this is a form of practicing. If you're putting it out, by default, you're gonna get better. At your art, you might be shit at the beginning, but later you might be good.
So the more content, the better, basically.
Yeah, put out content. Put it out, and the market it. Invest. Put a bit of money on the side, even if it's $50. Even if it's put something out because that $50 might convert into 100 later. And then you can reinvest it. And it might convert into a gig. That aside, reinvest it. You might not make money at the beginning, but if you keep working towards it, something's gonna happen, man. It has to happen because, and don't be content. Do it for the right reasons, you know. Do it for the right reasons. People do it for the girls, and they do it. And we're all men, we're all female, we're all like the opposite sex, and great. But do it for the love of the music as well, because if you don't love it, it's gonna resonate. People are gonna feel it. It's gonna transmit through your recordings or your performance.
Yeah, I've noticed that you say you're making a new song this Sunday. Is that an insight to what's coming next?
Yeah. This is like a.
So is this the first time you said this?
So what can you tell us about that?
Oh, this one? Yeah, so this one's a totally different. If you notice, my other ones are romantic. The Kiddo was great one. This last one is like a gimmick. It's like the Macarena of 2020.
Yeah.
You know, that was
Well,
like
let's hope so.
Gimmick song. So this next one is a straight battle song against every other rapper.
Boy.
But the lyrics are. The video isn't. The video is gonna be interesting.
Right, so you've got the lyrics together and everything.
Oh, the song's recorded. So we're filming the video this Sunday. If it doesn't rain, if it rains, then we'll have to move it.
Right, there you go.
Yeah.
Insight.
Yeah. We'll be
Got it
filming
here
the first
first.
5, you know.
Yeah, we probably could. Secret location.
Yeah, we'll keep it secret.
All right, good.
What about an album? You reckon you have one
Is
on the
that-
way if you keep
yeah.
going?
I've got one already on Spotify, but yeah, I want to put out singles, just one after the other. Actually, I do have enough for a second one. Like songs I've recorded, and I want to get in the studio ASAP just to do another one. I don't want to stop. I'm actually more hungrier than ever.
That's it. Yeah, it's best time to do it.
Especially
Look, the fire's not gone. It's more than ever.
Yeah.
So let's see what happens, man. See what happens. But yeah, there's gonna be albums, there's gonna be singles, there's gonna be videos. I'm coming. So.
Exciting times.
Huh?
Exciting
Yeah, I
times.
can't wait. Yeah, people are digging it. So while people think this is the only, because my fan base knows, okay, Danny does a song, and then he just promotes it for the next 2 years. You know?
I've noticed that. Yeah.
But now when I come out with another one, they're going, oh,
Yeah, but when you promote
Okay.
stuff, you do it well. Like the new
it
song.
costs money. I think that's
yeah.
why I do that. I think that's why I'm like, all right, work.
But even you just put on free stuff like Facebook and Instagram, I think you do enough there to see everything, and it's just word of mouth. Like 69,000 with the new song, like that could have been, that just came out of nowhere.
Yeah, that's right. And the next one, my aim is to get to 1 million.
Yeah,
Once we get to 1 million, and then we aim for the next million. You know?
that's it.
The next
Yeah,
million.
That's something that I really admire about you, man. Like the fact that you were able to get so many views and kind of create your own platform, and just be kind of self-independent. I was like, shit,
And
you're really doing it.
everyone can do it. Yeah. And especially bands. Like, if you got how many guys in a band, and you guys come together and promote it, it's better than one person because you can all put chip in marketing.
and that's just 4 different profiles doing different paths as well, or 4 or 5 whoever's in the band, and that person can be in different bands as well, like sub
and
brands.
they tell another 20 people, and then those 20 people try to tell another.
Yeah,
And it can roll. I feel like the initial 48 hours is pivotal. Like it's like you got to get over that hump. Once you push it, it'll snowball. And even though you guys think that went well, I don't think it did because that concept would have went crazy. It's a pop song, and the concept, like I wanted to get it out before we got the freedom to be able to move house to house. Luckily enough, in Latin America, they still can't. They still got cops outside their house. What outside the apartments. So it's still got potential. That's why I'm pushing it that way now. Because I knew if Australia relaxes the laws, it won't. They won't appreciate it as much because they're not in the situation that I was in the video. In the video, we're all in that. And that's why I was trying to push the camera, man, we need to get this out now. They were like, nah, we're going to be locked in for a long time. Don't worry. Even the sound engineer, I go, no, send me the audio. I need to master it. They're like, nah, don't worry. A couple of weeks later, they were the ones saying, man, we need this out now. I'm like, and then they even messaged me, like you said. I'm like, yeah, that's what I told you 2 weeks ago. We need to. This is like, I'm talking back. This happened 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago.
Yeah. I saw your stories locked in the hotel.
Oh, did you see that?
Some of them you'll be angry and pissed off, but I think at the end it was worth it at the end, I guess.
Yeah, I'm glad, and it got me. Yeah, you just got the fire.
I saw your stories.
I filmed something in the Caribbean as well, so when that's ready, I'll release that. That's a good quality video. Yeah, it's amazing. So I can't wait meanwhile, I'm going to be putting out other products. And when this Corona thing eventually subsides, which I believe it will, I'm going to launch that.
Yeah. So is there any Danny Sanz merch on the way?
Definitely have to look into that 100%. Years ago, I thought about that and I made some hats.
Did you?
So yeah.
I'll buy one.
Yeah.
I'll buy one.
Yeah, fuck yeah. That helps, man.
Yeah, cool.
It's promotion as well at the same time.
So is there any Danny Sanz
people see that? Yeah, I need you guys on my marketing team.
Oh, we try our best. We'll definitely help you out there.
Yeah.
I think you're going to be the Kickstarter to the marketing of so many other Australian bands. Artists, especially like little like rappers that are trying to get off the ground. I want this to be kind of like a service that works.
Be strict.
For people, you know.
They're gonna look at it. You know, I know you look at it as a hobby and you love it, but that's what's gonna separate whether you're successful or not. You got to look at this serious. You got to. I'm sorry. You know, I do it too. I'm a culprit of it. That's why I mention it. You know, I say tomorrow, okay, Norris, tonight I'll go. That one night that you're fucking partying with your mates and shit like that could be a night where you're sitting in the studio and you've made another fucking song. And sacrifice. What do you want? Do you want that? What do you want to do? You know what I mean? What's your mates? You can always have that. You know, you gotta have a balance, but you need a sacrifice. Otherwise, it's like a job. It's like a job. And if you don't work at it, nothing's gonna happen. It's just gonna stay where it is. You know why I say that? It's because I'm a culprit of it. You know, I'm a culprit of that. And yeah. So I recommend take it serious, man. Take it serious and we'll go far.
Thanks for your coming, Danny. You got any words for your overseas fans or any
everyone in all over the world, Paris, Miami, New York, Colombia, mi gente en Chile, Puerto Rico, República Dominicana, México. Muchas gracias y gracias por apoyarnos y sigue apoyando la música independiente a la gente del pueblo, ya tú sabes.
Thank you very much. Danny Sanz, everybody.
Thank you.